In a previous video, we discussed that when you create a task, it starts at new. And then once you've added time or an activity to a task, it moves automatically to in progress. In progress basically tells you that there has been activity that's been posted to this particular task item, and the task item itself cannot be edited at this point. The reason for this is that when you are in the edit screen, a lot of the information that's required within the project itself has to do with how the specific item is being billed. This particular one is a block time item, which we'll explain in another video the different billing methods. But because the billing method is tied to the project, once you get to a certain point within the flow, as with this one that we've actually got time posted to it, it doesn't allow you to change some of these options anymore. Other options that are still able to be changed are sitting here and will be not grayed out in the system. So you could still change technically the rate of pay or the service type on the system since nothing's been billed out yet. But as soon as we've billed something out on this, you're not going to be able to change this anymore either. So real quick, I'm going to show you how that kind of works. So we'll go ahead and update that billing method real quick, and you're going to see that this is set in progress. Now, if you wanted to bill out the activity for the week, you can come over here to the activities, or in your system, you may have it set as time entry. This is going to show every activity that's been done throughout the system. You can select the assignees in your system if you want to narrow that list down, or select a specific project if you want to narrow the list down. By doing that, it narrows it down and it shows you only the items that are involved with those assignees or within that project. Anywhere in the system or in most screens of the system, we do allow you to export this out. When you export anything out, it goes to an Excel or a CSV file, which allows you to import it into any other system for any kind of reporting or dashboarding that you would want to do. We have on our roadmap to have our own dashboarding within the system at a future date. So currently right here, you can see that these two items right here are set as in progress. That's because this task status is in progress. It has not been completed. Since it has not been completed, there are no actions available for us on any of these items. So what I can do is let me come into the task that we're looking at, which currently is sitting there, initial client with meeting. And I'm going to go ahead and change it to completed. Now let's jump back over to the activities and let's go back to that project. Okay, so now you can see that this is completed, but it has not been closed. The reason is for this particular task, it has to be approved by a manager and closed before time can be posted. The reason for this is we keep a completed status so that the tech can actually go in and say, okay, I'm done with all of this. But it still leaves it open that you could come into task management and you can actually say, show me everything that's completed. And then everything that's completed, we can come in here and approve that we're ready to close those items and they're ready to be billed. This just gives one level of check that we allow the system administrators to do in the system before we complete it to the closed status. Because once something is closed, no more time can be posted to it. And we have a lot of situations to where we see somebody completes a task, their manager goes back to it, looks over this particular task and say, look, they didn't do everything they were supposed to. We need to open this thing back up, go back to in process and post some more time to it. And in those situations, make the reasoning for us to have a completed status and then move it to close when we're absolutely sure that this thing's ready to be billed. And plus, it gives you some extra checks and balances within your system. So for right now, I just go and update the status. You can see it pops over that it's actually been closed. And if I go to the activities, I can actually go into that specific project. And now you can see how the screen has changed. The screen has changed to allow us to basically approve or deny any of this time activity to be billed to the customer, as well as make some modifications if we needed to make some modifications to the time billing that we need to. Notice I'm not adjusting any rates here. I'm only adjusting the amount of time because the rates should be pulled directly from the items or services that were set up either on your Quickbooks integration or directly through configuration on the Agility system. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to accept both of these. You can see just how quick that is and that they get approved right away. This is a block of time for support on this particular project. Once again, we'll explain those later, but what this is going to do is a block of time has already been paid for. So what this will do on the billing side is it will basically create a zero invoice because we've already collected money on this. We're technically just tracking so that we make sure that this gets deducted from the block of time. So over here on the block of time, you can see how many retainer hours they had, what the retainer price is, what the rate of pay that they were paying, and basically how many hours have actually been used up in the block of time based off what's been invoiced out. Once again, we'll get into block of time and the different billing methods in another video.